Welcome to the West Bank Super Series, where we return to a damp Port Elizabeth. Here at Aldo Scribante, drivers will have their work cut out as they battle for honours in the Bristol production cars. The course has declared today's race as a wet race, but at the moment it seems as if Mother Nature has other ideas, with the sun picking up slightly. The question is, will it remain for the rest of the day?
In this show, angry weather with freezing conditions welcome teams and drivers to a drenched circuit as early as on Friday. A mid-winter break marked the halfway mark of the championship. Leaders Scribante in Class A, Nathan in Class T will want to pick up where they left off. Now, of course, everybody's had time to tweak and develop. The scene is set. It's round 5.
For all the information on the West Bank Super Series, SMS the word motorsports to 31329 or visit our website www.westbanksuperseries.co.za and stay in the loop.
Fortunately, Googs, it was much better conditions for qualifying on the Saturday morning. And in qualifying, a very tight battle amongst the first couple of cars. Most of them four-wheel drive, but it was going to be Johan Fourie who was quickest by nearly half a second. And it looks like it was going to be a tough day for the rest as Michael Stephen tried everything he could, but could only get second. Followed very, very closely by his teammate Chop Sapuka, making it Audis 1, 2 and 3.
So let's have a look at the front row. Johan Fourie the fastest, Michael Stephen alongside him, both Audis.
Then Chop Sapuka and Anthony Taylor first to the BMWs.
Then on the next row as we continue, Melville Priest in the Afrox BMW, and then Richard Pinnard in the Subaru.
A battling man, Henny Groenewald down in 8th place behind the Nissan, the championship leader with lots of work to do.
Then Paulo de Cunha still in the old 350 Nissan, hoping to do well.
You're going, I'm on pole? Well, it's true.
Yes, I have. I've been asking myself, I'm really on my own pole because I didn't know. Not one of the best ways to inherit pole. You know, everybody's got to work for it, and those that deserve it supposed to have it. But unfortunately, I think due to the technicality of the rules, that enabled me to inherit the pole position.
Well, what Chops is trying to say, due to a technical mishap on two Audis, faults of the drivers or teams, and no fault there, a part failed. It created a technical infringement, purely simply just bad luck. So what drama? Fourie and Stephen penalised 3 places, which knocked Fourie off pole to 3rd and Stephen in 4th. Right now, we go racing.
Into the S's, engine S's for the first time, and a good start here from the man we're on board with. You can see just how hard he's pushing Melville Priest, and looking to try and close onto the back end of Anthony Taylor, who got the whole shot now that he was promoted onto the front row. And this is going to be interesting to watch. Johan Fourie already up to 3rd place, but Michael Stephen not able to make up as much ground as what we've seen from the Indy All Audi.
Good point to note as well, Greg, here. No shots of Henny Groenewald at the moment, and we're talking about our championship leader, 17 points, and that'll get gobbled up if he doesn't have a good weekend. Back on action, Melville Priest were on board, and Fourie's cars looked good all practice session on Friday, even though it was wet conditions. But I'll tell you what, I think he's got the package this weekend.
Well, remember, this is purely a dominated Audi circuit gen. Whoa, Fourie sideways already! Thank goodness for Quattro. That came in big time. Good driving skill there from Johan Fourie too. And up the inside, Stephen putting the pressure onto Melville Priest. But just picking up on what you're saying as we see Melville Priest on board, heading down the main straightaway towards turn 1. It is a very tough weekend so far for the Subaru team. Henny Grunewald with problems on Friday, problems this morning in qualifying, had to go out in Tanner's car to just get the qualifying done, and now having to come from the back of the field.
Well, I just felt that all three of those Subarus just really weren't ticking over. I don't know what happened. I mean, they've got the specs here. Henny Grunewald's won at this track before. In fact, in dominant style. Tanith Gardner's car wasn't performing well, nor was Richard Pinard. And hopefully, in the next couple of races, they might be able to sort this out.
Well, you can see already a big improvement there just in the background, but at the front, massive improvement from the BMW, the Akrapovic pipes on that car. Just the stealth bomber as it comes through there. Not as loud as the Audis, but definitely getting the performance, because remember, they've gone to single turbos now as they come through the sweep, heading up towards the final corner. And oh, there's a move. That's Grunewald just, yeah, I think that was going to happen pretty soon. I picked up on it earlier. Pinard was in front of Grunewald. He just moved out the way and let Henny go through. He needs his championship leader and teammate to be higher up than what he is.
Well, this is something that Richard Pinard had said and stated, that he was going to do as much as he possibly could to keep Henny in a really good position, chasing or actually protecting the championship lead. But anyway, Ferrari looking good, and he's drawing neck and neck. He's got a better line on Anthony Taylor. Can he make it stick? I reckon he can. And he'll also, well, if actually Anthony Taylor could drive around the outside and have a better line into the corner too, not to be the case, I don't think. Ferrari's still in charge. Just a little tap. It's rubbing and racing.
Look at these guys coming through the engine. This is absolutely amazing stuff. We're on board here with Anthony Taylor now. Look how hard he's working in the cockpit, top left of your screen. And he's trying to close down on Ferrari. Ferrari is all over the place. That Audi is working double time, and those Bridgestone tyres are really starting to slip and slide as they come up onto the braking markers. Taylor has another big look to try and get up ahead of him, but can't quite find the gap. As you see, Ferrari just slamming the door shut, and all of a sudden, it is an Audi at the front end now, and he's starting to pull away. Look at the gap he's pulled. Since he got to the front, it was Nathan on the sideline, just pulling over one of the Class T guys. We'll get to them later on. But what a start here. This is the way Bridgestone Production Cars has been all season, this close.
Great shots, Greg. We're on board right now with championship leader Henny Grunewald in the Subaru. Looks like they might have sorted out some problems. They had a torrid time yesterday. Well,
considering the fact that they've had their base weights changed and a couple of boosts taken off, it looks like it seems to be firing now, and it's closing into the back end of the second BMW. BMW under pressure now from Chop Sapuka as they go down to turn one. That is Anthony Taylor. He's in second place, and they've lost a huge amount of ground. Look at how Ferrari's pulled away since he got to the front.
Well, of course, Chop Sapuka will be a bit disappointed as well. I mean, getting that pole, even though it was fortuitously. We're on board Melville Priest in that stealth bomber, as you say, chasing down another Audi in front of him. Of course, Ferrari is looking really dominant up to that hairpin. They have to get on hard on the brakes, and this is where I feel Ferrari's very strong. Whoa, look at that.
Amazing stuff there. Both Taylor and Chops on the limit as they came out of Westbank corner into the hairpin, closing right up onto the back end of that BMW. You can smell the fumes out of those Akrapovic pipes now as they come down to the sweep. Look at this. He has a look on the inside. Will the Audi find a way past? Taylor is one of the most difficult guys to get around. And look at that control. Man, that's awesome. We had some drifters here for entertainment, but who needs drifters when you got Taylor on the track in the Aprox BMW?
Looking at Chop Sapuka right now, he's harassing Anthony Taylor in front of him, and I really think he's got the drive. And have a look at this. He'll try and get down on the outside. Final lap right now. Ferrari's in charge, and this could be the points. The first one that he needs to bag, and will it set him up for a good day?
So far, so good for Johan Ferrari. He had to come from a little bit of a problem and moving down the grid due to a technical infringement, as we said at the beginning of the show. But right now, he's taken all of that, thrown aside, got to the front, and is showing these boys how it's done. Chop Sapuka, though, is not done. He wants to get past and has a look into the final corner. Can he make it stick? No, he can't, because Taylor is just making that BMW very wide.
I'm liking what I see from Chops, a lot more aggressive. Right now, though, the final flag comes out. It's the winner, Johan Ferrari, and on the BMW, Anthony Taylor, Chop Sapuka in third. What a great race, Greg.
Fantastic stuff, but it's definitely Quattro dominance here, as you see 3 Audis and only 1 BMW in that top 4. Ferrari is a very happy man. He had to work hard to come from behind, but first victory in the bag for him, and that's the way to start the day, with Johan Ferrari at the top in the Individual Audi S4, Anthony Taylor in second place, Chop Sapuka beating out his teammate, and Melville Priest, the second of the BMs, there in 5th.
So, Henny Grunewald in 6th, Richard Pinard, the other Subaru, Tanith Gardner, Paulo Acuna, and Marco Acuna in the other Nissan.
Wow, you got a penalty in qualifying, and you turn that around. The car looked amazing.
Yeah, no, I was a little bit disappointed after qualifying. That wasn't intentional. We got the part. It was leaking a little bit of air. We should have done the test. The rules are the rules, so I had to take my penalty. I was very disappointed. I had to keep myself up, motivate myself, and say we can do it. We got the package underneath us since we launched the new car, and we came a long shot since Pakisa testing-wise and developing the car. So I think we had a strong package, and I thought we need to win it. I ain't going to sit back.
So here we go for race 2, and an inversion of 4 cars puts Ferrari back onto the second row with the 2 Engine Extreme Audis, pole and second. They go down towards turn 1, and it looks like it's going to be Michael Stephen getting the drop. He was on pole. Chopsapuka alongside him. Wants to try and go defensive on the inside, but there's a BM there. And look at the start. The awesome stuff from Taylor. He's already pushing through, and Priest going with him. Forces for rewind.
You know, it's not necessarily an advantage being on the front row on the left-hand side. If you're in third position behind the pole sitter, you can get into that corner very, very well on the inside line. So it doesn't necessarily give you a good advantage. And, of course, you can't go around the outside with confidence if you've got cold tyres.
Well, it's a case at the front at the moment of all the odd numbers being Audis and all the even numbers being BMWs, because as they come onto the braking markers, it is BMW leading out. But he's going to try and catch that Audi in front. And second place at this point is a very tough battle, because Chopsapuka, as we saw in the first race, is fired up. It's his home circuit. He's the #1 black driver in the country, and he wants to show that this Engine Extreme Audi S4 of his can take on the might of BMW.
So Stephen getting a bit squirrely, and right now, oh my word, oh that's a huge shunt.
Sure, Melville Priest getting it completely wrong coming into the final corner, and it looks like the disc just absolutely exploded there. He went flying at about 200 k's an hour into that wall and has gone out of the race. There's the damage. Whoa, that's massive. You can see he just comes onto the brakes. Look at that. The left-hand side front wheel. You just see some massive smoke out of the front. The disc explodes. Fortunately, he backed into it. I don't know if that was Melville turning the car or the car just turning on the momentum of the crash, but that definitely would have hurt. And hopefully Melville will get out the car and be okay.
Well, that puts Anthony Taylor in the lead, but my suspicions are, did he overtake under yellow?
We'll have to wait and see what happens there. You can see Melville on the side of the car here. Fortunately standing in A-OK. Whoa, Chopsapuka running wide. Don't do that with your Ferrari on your tail. Ferrari is on fire here today and wants a double victory. He goes on the inside. He's got 2 cars to try and get up to the front end. He's got past the third car of Chopsapuka and moves himself into third place with his sights firmly set on Taylor and Stephen.
Yeah, Chop, stay away from Johan Ferrari. That's not going to scare him in the slightest. He's used to this very close racing. So, still pressure bringing to bear on Chops, and Johan Ferrari, he should find a way. He's got the power. You can see it's harassing Chops at every single moment he gets. On the bumper, giving a little nudge, letting you know, I'm here, buddy. Make a mistake and I'm through.
Didn't you just love the fact that going into the S's, Chops retook that position and came back to the third place. So he hangs on. Here comes Henrik Grunewald. He goes with Chopsapuka, realizes that maybe Chops might just have a better line through here. He gets forced on the inside, has to back out of it slightly there as Ferrari came across to take his place on the road. And there you can see just loses a little bit of ground to the 2 Audis battling for third and fourth.
So, in the meantime, ahead, right now we're on board with Henrik Grunewald getting a close-up view of Johan Ferrari. And very many different lies into those final corners we get onto the straightaway. Again, Ferrari putting the hammer down. Chops has got drive, getting a little wide on it, and squirrely. He might have lost a bit there, and Ferrari looks like he's going to take advantage of it.
Well, Ferrari took advantage going into that last corner, cut the apex very late, got the drive on early, sneaks up the inside. This time takes third place, so he's got it all done and dusted now. Well done. Awesome driving there from Johan Ferrari. Can Chops come back at him this time? We'll have to wait and see. They get into the NGNSs. Chops is behind Ferrari now. Ferrari's not going to let him through. There's no way. Look at how well Grunewald has come up now. That car is definitely much better than it was all weekend. We saw second fastest lap time in race 1. He's now up with those other 4-wheel drive machines and giving them a great run.
7 and 8 at the moment, 1 to go, the penultimate, and Taylor in charge at the moment in that stealth bonner. Ferrari will put pressure on him. There's no doubt about it. And this is just really the same as what happened in the race 1.
Can you believe how Taylor's got ahead, though? He's starting to pull a little bit of gap all through the race. Now that gap has been closed down. The 2 Audis are both Michael Stephen and Johan Ferrari. And we haven't mentioned much about Michael Stephen. He's been there the whole time. But because of Ferrari's dominance and getting through the field, he's now got up to second, and Michael Stephen's going to have to sit there and go, what happened? How did I let him through? We've only got a half a lap to go as they come to the hairpin, and will Taylor be able to hang on?
Well, Ferrari doesn't need much more than that. I'll tell you what, give him a gap. Oh, look at that. Just anti-clockwise steering as well. Counter steering. Brilliant stuff. Final lap. And look at the pressure now, Greg. It's even closer.
Absolutely amazing as they go up towards the hairpin. Now, look at this. All over the back. We've got Ferrari looking for a way through. He gets on the inside. He's got the inside line. Taylor gets it. Oh, sideways there from Taylor. But fantastic driving for both of them to stay on. Will Ferrari be able to cut the apex? He goes in very early. He gets out. He gets good drive. Going down to the sweep. Oh, man, Taylor just blocks him, though, going into that hairpin. Oh, this is awesome stuff. He blocks him in the sweep, too.
Fantastic. Taylor doing everything. He knows Ferrari's charging. Of course, the all-important corner, Dunlop corner, on the outside. He'll duck on the inside, try and get the drive. Can he? This could go down to the line if he can. Oh, look at this. Taylor blocks him again. There goes Ferrari on the outside. Oh, he's got a break. This is neck and neck. He can win it. Unbelievable win.
Magnificent drive out of the final corner gives Ferrari another victory. That is 2 out of 2 for the day. Look at him. He is pumped. Out the window, hand up, and yes, it is. Number 1 for you, Johan Ferrari. How did he get the drive out of that final corner? He just blasted past the BMW. Taylor was thinking to himself, where did that come from? But unfortunately, Taylor has been penalised due to overtaking under yellow, so you don't see him in the top 5.
But who you do see in the top 5, this is Subaru and the first of many from Richard Pinard. Paolo De Cunha in 6th, 7th Anthony Taylor with the penalty, and Henny Grunewald in 8th.
2 out of 2 for Johan Ferrari sees him move to the top of the championship standings after the first 2 races of the day here. And it is really interesting to see how the championship points have changed up only after 2 races.
Also note that the weather is really, really good at the moment. So Anthony Taylor in 5th, up to 78 points, and the Afrox BMW, of course, no longer a twin turbo at the moment, and really needs to have good points this weekend.
No longer twins in the BMW either, because the second BMW of Melville Priest, who's currently in 4th place, is backed up in this corner and will not be participating anymore in today's proceedings.
And of course, hometown favourite, Michael Stephen, now up to 3rd in the championship after 2 races, 104 points, the engine Extreme Audi S4 Supercharge.
Henny Grunewald, the championship leader coming into this round, has now dropped to 2nd. With a problematic weekend and a little bit of work to do still with 2 races to go, it's up to Henny now to close down on the championship leader, which is now Johan Ferrari with 118 points. And remember, this is the exact dead center of the Bridgestone Production Car Championship for 2011.
So we're back again, Greg, and looking forward to 2 more sprint races. And boy, we've had drama in the first 2.
Some big crashes and some big incidents so far, but it is Johan Ferrari, double race victor, leading out in pole position. And not such a good start there from Grunewald, because already the BM is through. The lone BMW out there at this point is Taylor, going around the outside into turn 1 and taking the whole shot.
Wow, that's brave. I'm on cold tyres as well. How do you do that, Mr. Taylor?
He hasn't done it just yet, because Ferrari comes straight back at him into the S's, but he confirms it now. Into the left now, and it is Afrox BMW out in front, Ferrari alongside him. I wouldn't say out in front just yet, because every time I say that, Ferrari pulls alongside and goes toe-to-toe with him.
Yeah, 7 laps to go in a sprint race at Aldo Scribante is a long time to go.
Check is in 3rd. Absolutely awesome stuff here from Henny Grunewald. He's up to 3rd place, and he's got so much work to do, as we've just seen in between the breaks here, between the 4 races of the day. Grunewald is now 2nd in the championship. He led coming in, and he's now 4th on the race because Stephen shunts through and goes to 3rd.
Yeah, I don't believe that car is sounding too good. I could be wrong, but I just think there's a problem there. Anyway, Chopsapuka's even challenging Grunewald. It would appear that he's got a bit of a problem. He hasn't got the speed as we've seen in the last 2 races. On board with Chops at the moment, and really he's drawing alongside. He should make this stick down into the first corner if he gets the inside line.
Well, he has a good look as he went past there down the straightaway. This is probably about 220 k's an hour, then down the gearbox for turn 1. He climbs onto the brakes and turns it in beautifully, and he has got ahead of Henny Grunewald. So Henny G's problems just continue to happen all through the weekend, and the championship is slipping away from him.
Yeah, having little gremlins, but he's not the only team or driver to have those kind of problems the weekend. We've seen it throughout the entire field. Sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not. But more importantly, this battle as they head up towards the hairpin bend as well. Taylor's in control for the moment, as you say, Ferrari bringing pressure to bear. And this has been a battle royale for the first 3 races, even including this one.
I can't believe that Taylor's running at the front end. This is normally an Audi-dominated track. And Anthony Taylor has found something special on this Afrox BMW, and he's finding some more drifting skills. We saw it in race 2, we saw it in race 1. Here in race 3, Taylor doesn't let up. He just keeps that thing buried through the sweep. And how does he hang on? The Bridgestones must be crying out saying, Ant, come on, bud, I can't go quicker than this.
Yeah, picking up definitely dry lines out there at the moment. Of course, we've had some better weather changes as well. If we carried on with Friday, it would have been big problems here. Ferrari on the outside. He really has got the drive. And I think he could make this stick against Taylor. Hasn't got an answer. And now a new leader in the 3rd race. Oh, Taylor coming back on the inside. Ferrari was caught napping there, and he goes through, takes the wing mirror off, and we're on board with Chopson's trying to follow him through.
I was about to say, we haven't had a wing mirror off yet, so it can't be Bridgestone production cars proper, and now we do. So here they come. Oh, look at Stephen on the grass. Quattro to the maximum there. Keeping it buried sideways stuff. How do you drift a four-wheel drive? Just like that.
Chop Sabuka really helped him out there. That little tap really got him back going in a straight line. Hard on the brakes. Taylor's under pressure. Ferrari coming, and Chop Sabuka gives Ferrari a light. He says, let me through. I'm coming through. I need a gap.
Tappity tap tap taparoo coming through. Mate, give me a space there. Come on, Johan. I was quicker through there than you. Johan Ferrari says, no ways, Chops. I'm going for 4 victories in a row here, and I'm up with 2 out of 4 so far. If I can get past this BMW, it's going to be my day. And man, is he driving the socks off that Audi. And right on his tail, 2 very talented drivers giving everything they can for their local supporters and, of course, for the local sponsor, Engine Extreme.
So as it stands right now, Greg, Ferrari is in the championship lead halfway through this mark. And I'll tell you what, his resurgence with the package and himself came about from Pakisa in an endurance race. He bagged double the points. It got him into the mix. Now, he looks like the champion we know he is.
Don't you just love the fact you've got absolutely formation flying from the boys from Engine as they go into the Engine S's. The 2 Audis were side by side. They're still pretty much there. And this time, it's Sabuka on the outside. Can he keep it buried? Yes, he does. Oh, this is brilliant driving from these 2 boys. This is what it's all about. Going around the outside, Michael Stephen takes the 3rd place away. Chop Sabuka, no team orders between the 2 of them. It's every man for yourself out on track. And it is superb racing from Bridgestone.
Yeah, but how long can Anthony Taylor hold on? We know that he only needs a lap, that Ferrari that is, 7 of 8, which means he's still got time, and he's bringing the pressure to bear. On the inside, he got really great drive out of Dunlop, and that seems to be a big thing with the Audis at the moment. On the inside, no, look at this. Taylor, can he do it a second time around the outside? I don't think so. Look at the brilliant driving and the sliding.
Well, we're into the S's now, and right onto the back end of the Indy Oil Audi in front. He's just managed to sneak through now as they came out of turn 1. Now they head down through, hanging absolutely flat out here. Look at the speedometer. We're close to the 200k an hour mark. A slight lift off as they go through Westbank. Now it's flat out, all the way down, onto the braking markers as they come up. There's a move from Taylor. Oh, he tapped him. Taylor's got on the inside. Tap Ferrari. Ferrari goes sideways.
Look
He
at
keeps
Ferrari.
it buried. Absolutely awesome stuff from these guys. He comes back on track. Taylor's now 3rd. Michael Stephen has been gifted a victory here. And Chop Sabuka says, okay, there's enough time. I might be able to get my teammate.
Unbelievable stuff. Was that a driver incident? Oh, I tell you what, it's too close to tell, really. They were really flying at the top of their game into that corner. Little tap. That BMW is severely damaged on the left front.
Michael Stephen takes the victory. It is an engine formation flying for Chop Sabuka in 2nd. Indy Oil Audi eventually finishes in 3rd ahead of Taylor. But there's going to be a little chat between the 2 of them, I'm sure. After that little tap from Taylor going into the hairpin on Johan Ferrari.
Stephen fist pumping. So the results are of race number 3, and it was a gift. Michael Stephen, Chop Sabuka in 2nd. Johan Ferrari still putting points on the board. Anthony Taylor in 4th.
Henny Kroenewald in 5th place, just ahead of his teammates Tanith Gardner and Richard Pinnard. And D'Cunha eventually got back out in the 370 to finish ahead of his brother.
Michael Stephen, bit of argy-bargy out there for sure, and lots of action.
Yeah, most definitely. Obviously, race 1 and 2 didn't go according to plan. We had a small problem with what the induction pipe was sucking closed. You know, after testing, we knew we could win here, and we fixed it for race 3, and we had the pace. We got to the front and we won. So yes, a great result for the team. You know, and hopefully we can repeat it in race 4.
Richard Pinnard on pole position as the grid gets inverted by 6 cars. His teammate Henny Kroenewald alongside him as we go down towards turn number 1. A little bit of battle damage, as you can see on this man's car. Anthony Taylor, you can't see it now, but you will see it when we see the outside shot. Ferrari is going to take it a little gingerly as they go into turn 1. I'm sure he doesn't want to have the same with Anthony Taylor as what we had at the hairpin on the 2nd last lap of race 3.
Well, he'll be kicking himself as well, because he knew he had that in the bag, and that would have been 3 from 3. And what can you say? Anthony Taylor gets in and in the mix. But right now, speaking about mix, because of that 6-car inverted grid, he is now in the mix and chasing as we're on board with him into that beautiful corner. And I love the way this track goes up there. Get a nice line on the inside and hard on the brakes into the hairpin.
Pinnard going defensive on the inside. Will he let Henny Kroenewald through? Yes, he will. Kroenewald goes through. Taylor's in 3rd. Ferrari's in 4th. We've got the 2 Engine Extreme Audis right behind them with Chop Sabuka and Michael Stephen. There's Tanith Gardner. There's a move. Whoa, early on from Taylor. He's not holding anything back. Tries to sneak on the inside of Pinnard. He's not quite got the handling he had earlier on. There might be a bit of damage on this car. Let's wait and see whether it affects him through the race.
Of course, you might say that's a bit of a rustiness from Pinot, but that's not the case because in this midwinter break, he's been actively driving karts, keeping it and honing his skills.
Check on the inside, though. There's some very big skills of Johan Ferrari sneaking through. He saw that Pinot was going to go wide. He cut the apex, as he always does, out of that corner. Got the drive down towards turn one, and he's now up to second place with Taylor following him through into third place and resuming that battle between the Audi and the BMW.
Yeah, the thing is here as well, I expected Richard Pinot to hang in there a bit more and give Kenny Grunewald a bit more of a buffer. You'd like to think that that was job done, but it's way too early. And he's been overtaken and under constant pressure at the moment. Even Stephen is having a look up the inside as well.
And so does Chop Sapuka. He's going to go around the outside out of West Bank. And will he make it stick? Yes, he does. He gets ahead of Pinot. So the two Engine Extreme Audis have got past the Cecil Subaru of Richard Pinot, the pole man. And he's now down into the position he's usually in. That's sixth place. Remember, they inverted the grid by 6, which put him on pole. And now he is out of it.
Greg, as they come through the sweep, let's take stock here. How good have these old Audis been performing here today?
Absolutely brilliant. We always say it is an Audi-dominated circuit. Every one of the teams that come down here prepare their cars to try and beat the Audis, and that's exactly what they've had to do this weekend as they come out of the final corner, starting another lap. The Audi out front is about to go to the lead because I don't think Grunewald is going to have what it takes to outdo him. And look at that. He drives past him. Absolutely flat out, and Taylor's falling back. It looks like Stephen's going through. Yes, Anthony Taylor's got a problem here, there's no doubt. He's not got the same amount of drive. Maybe the handling is affected slightly with the damage to the left-hand front. And you can see there is that damage I was talking about. And it doesn't, yeah, you can see he's definitely not getting through the S's as well as what we saw earlier on.
So 7 of 8, and we're almost coming to the climax of what has been a great race. Chop Sapuka having a look on the outside of Richard Pinot. I'll tell you what, it just seems these Audis can just go anywhere on the racetrack.
Well, Quattro and all-wheel drive side by side as they head towards the final turn now, and it is Chop Sapuka. Henry Grunewald just trying to survive today, I think. He realizes that the package they had this weekend wasn't quite what they had the last time we were here, but he knows that this championship is still up for grabs. He was in second place as they started this race in this championship, and he's now down in fourth, losing some ground to Johan Ferrari.
Well, in fairness to that, they've had a bit of a tweak on that. The powers of B, they've given it a bit more, less boost, and of course a bigger base weight. So yeah, there are certain disadvantages going into this race for the Subarus, but they still felt comfortable. But clearly, they're not on the pace.
Nonetheless, even though they get all those things given to them and the changes made on the car, they went quicker than they've ever been.
Sure.
So it's interesting to see the way things turn out at the end of the day. Exactly. But that's how Bridgestone production cars work. You can see Henry Grunewald here in fifth, just nursing this car home. Wants to get up as high as he can in the results so that he doesn't lose too much ground to our new championship leader, who is possibly going to have the third victory of the day here. It's not 4 out of 4, but 3 out of 4 is pretty good.
Well, so far, so good as well. So Ferrari in dominant charge at the moment. Looking back into the field, Kenneth Gardner not having the greatest weekend, but that's to be expected as well. The whole problem with the team, well, they've had little niggles, and hopefully by the next round they will sort them out.
Just checking Cunha coming around. That is the 370Z as the checkered flag comes out and nearly gets taken away by Michael Stephen. Michael Stephen pushed Johan right to the line. There you see a little flash of the light saying, yeah, great dive there, well done. They're going to be happy that Audi have finished 1, 2, and 3 again, but Ferrari, 3 out of 4 today. Could have been 4 out of 4 had he not had that incident with Taylor. We'll have to wait and see to the next round. And man, are we in for a great championship going into the final stages.
So Johan Ferrari wins it. Michael Stephen in second. Good points for the Engine Extreme. Chop Sapuka there in third. Anthony Taylor, and then Richard Pinot in fifth.
Kenneth Gardner just ahead of Cunha in the 370Z. And Henry Grunewald eventually surviving to 8th place, 24 seconds down.
An outstanding drive, and your sponsors and your team must be ecstatic.
Yeah, no, India must be over the moon. I mean, geez, we had a game plan, like I said earlier, with the old car and then launched a new car. But I mean, we tested a lot, bring the car up to speed, and I mean, it was an unbelievable day. And it seems like we can only win from fourth, but when I had power, I couldn't pull it off. Unfortunately, we were leading last lap, hairpin, got a nudge from Anthony. I don't think it was deliberately, but yeah, accidents do happen. Still managed to be on the podium, and I think we got a good haul of points. So yeah, like I said, now we can control it and just take it forward.
Moving to the next round in East London, it's Johan Ferrari that leads out with 135 points. Michael Stephen has closed him down though. Henry Grunewald lost some ground, but is still in with a chance.
Hi, I'm Marco Cunha, driving the RNA Cellular Q8 Oils Nissan 370Z. Join us for the next round on the 3rd of September in East London. Hope to see you there.
So there are the dates, round 6, East London on the 3rd of September. But don't go away, coming up after the break, more action from T-Class.
Nathan leads coming into this round, but it is a battle that continues between Ford and Volkswagen. And don't forget the Opel of Michael van Rooyen at the front end.
Plenty of drama that we've had throughout the entire day. Is this going to be any different? Well, we hope not.
Awesome stuff to see Van Rooyen put it on pole. Gennaro Bonafide alongside him. Unfortunately, not in his Golf 6 just yet, but it'll be there soon.
No rental on the second row. Sean Dumity in the Ford. Gary Formato alongside him.
Ibrahim Levy and Nizam Essa, two GTIs on the third row.
And then finally, Graham Nathan having problems.
We were expecting you to have your brand new car here. That's not the case this time. Why?
No, for sure. I mean, the guys at Nathan's put in an absolutely superb job trying to get the car ready. The guy, the wiring guys, Brahm at SWAT Corps also. But, you know, we lost a week somewhere along the line, and on such a tight schedule, we just didn't have enough time to get the car ready. So we had to make a plan, and thankfully Graham had a spare car here. So Tuesday night we thought, okay, well, we're going to race the spare one. Let's throw everything into the old car, the spare car, and you know, go down to P and see what we can do.
Michael van Rooyen right now, you're becoming a thorn in everybody's side at the moment. You know this, don't you?
Well, I think we were lucky this morning. We stayed out a bit longer. We stuck with a wet setup from yesterday, and I think it paid off. We did some quick laps later in the session. I think the track became drier and hotter, and it seems to have paid off, but it's still extremely close.
So it's the Williams Hunt OPC Opel out in front, alongside him Ferrodo GTI. And it's not his normal car. Remember, he's in the rental from Nathan's Motorsport, but it's going just as well as he goes down towards turn one, being hassled here by Duminy. We're on board with his teammate, Gary Formato.
Yeah, I think he's got to have a big shout-out to Pete Fasaki. I think he's the guy that's responsible for that car as well. So action galore here again at Aldo Scribante, round number 5 in South Africa on the Eastern Cape Seaboard. This is going to be some awesome stuff. These boys don't take prisoners.
Well, Formato's already up ahead of his teammate. I think Germany giving a little bit of ground there as they came through the S's. And Graham Nathan is not giving any ground. Remember, he's gone out in the Golf 5. The Golf 6 wasn't quite right. And he's now having to fight in the older car as they head up towards the hairpin for the first time. Already big pressure being put on here by Gennaro on the Williams Hunt OPC of Michael van Rooyen.
Yeah, I know Graham's probably a little bit disappointed because we've been waiting at such a long time for the Golf 6 to arrive, as we're on board right now with Gennaro Bonafide. Right next door to him, of course, a very close Michael van Rooyen in that Astra. Wow, this is going to be a little battle to watch out for as well. But back on that subject with Graham Nathan, comes down with a 5. He wanted to drive the 6 and had problems with that car. And I felt that, you know, with the new car, he should have been given all the information that was available to him to actually turn that Golf 6 into something competitive.
Well, Gremlin's at the 11th hour, and it looks like Gremlin's here on the racetrack with the Golf 5 too. I think that thing's going into limp mode again, something that he's battled with a little bit, and yeah, he's at the back of the field again. He's going to have to nurse that car home and try and survive the race and salvage as much points as possible with the rest of the field flat out.
Gary Formato still looking for big points, and he also has championship aspirations as we continue in round 5. Gennaro Bonafide in the rental, and he's making that car go very quickly.
Ferrodo GTI is very good, and as he comes through West Bank corner, heading up towards the hairpin, he might have a go here if he's close enough to that OPC. He has a big look on the inside. Michael sees him coming, though, closes the door, says, no, Gennaro, you're going to have to work harder than that. But this OPC wants a victory here today. He's come from a very, very good season so far. Since Michael's been in that car, he has been pretty much untouchable, and these guys have had their work cut out to try and get past him.
Gary Formato harassing Gennaro Bonafide, and I'll tell you what, this is not done and dusted as well. It seems to be on the pace. He's got a lot of power there. Great drive out of the corners. So it looks like the setup on that Ford at the moment is to Gary Formato's liking. Well, as you said, Greg, terminal.
Not good for Graham Nathan. Championship leader pulls onto the side in the Golf 5, and hopefully he'll be able to get the car to the grid, because remember, after this, they come and do a park for May on the grid. And if Nathan's not there, that might be 2 races he's going to miss. We'll have to wait and see as they get to the end. But right now, it's Formato going ahead of Gennaro Bonafide and getting to second place.
Really looks good and on the pace right now. Ibrahim Levy, and I like his new livery colours on that brand new GTI. And of course, it is circulating a lap down at the moment. Big problems for him and a really torrid weekend.
You can see that things are really starting to close up here. All of a sudden, Michael van Rooyen looks in his rearview mirror, sees his ex-teammate there in the BP Castrol Ford ST. As they head up towards the final corner, Van Rooyen just trying to keep it all together. Will he have enough here? Will we see a move from Gary Formato? It's up to Formato to make the move, and it's up to Van Rooyen just to let him have any inch Because if he does, Famato's going to sneak through.
Oh, there's no doubt about that in my mind. There's no doubt. I think you've called it 100%. We should find out in the next lap as they still move through. And being harassed is the Astra. And I'll tell you what, that Ford has got some incredible straight line power. And he has a look down the outside. I don't think that's the line, Gary. But I'll tell you what, with Famato, anything's possible.
You know what he was doing? He's just selling him a bit of a dummy there. He went wide, and Van Rooyen has fell for it. He went wide, cut the apex early, and he sneaks through as they get into the S's. So, that is awesome driving there from Gary Famato. Unfortunately, Van Rooyen just caught napping as they came out of turn 1, going slightly wide there and opening up the door. And as I said, if you open up that door, Famato will put his nose in and probably take it away from you.
Well, look where he's come from. I mean, this is amazing as a driver. It's reminiscent of Class A as well. And we had some stunning drives out there as well. So back in the first points today is Gary Famato in the Ford. He wins it. It's the OPC Astral, and then, of course, it is Gennaro Bonafide. And if our calculations are right, Greg, that should put Famato in lead of the championship.
With Graham Nathan on the sideline, definitely he should take the lead of this championship after taking race 1's victory. Gary Famato up ahead, and a good drive from him to get to that first position. Michael Van Rooyen hung on for dear life, but had to settle for second. Bonafide in third, Germany in fourth, and Nizam Essa in fifth place.
So Famato's got a lot to prove. He's just bagged one win. Can he do another? 4 cars inverted. It puts them all, the same drivers, back in the mix again, Greg.
Yeah, Famato down in fourth place, though, and Germany leads out with Gennaro Bonafide and then Michael Van Rooyen. Look in the background, though. We have to wait and see whether Graham Nathan has got back onto track. Hopefully he has. If he has, he's got a lot of work to do to get to the front end. There's Nathan. He's been able to resume his position at the back of the grid, but he's got to come through 7 cars before he can get to that first place.
Didn't hear a lot of Sean Duminy in the last race, did we? Very clean, innocuous, out of sight, getting in the mix, doing the right things. But I'll tell you what, he is not finished for the day.
He's doing the right thing right now. That's leading. He goes into the hairpin with Bonafide looking very dangerous all over the back of him, and Michael Van Rooyen going defensive to keep Famato out. So it's a battle royal between the Fords, GTIs and Opel, like we said, and it continues here in Aldo.
Was it my imagination, or did Graham Nathan have to start that race from pit lane?
He started in pit lane. He was given permission to take his position at the back of the grid, which is what he did, and there he is, looking for a way past Essa and Ibrahim Levy.
Gennaro Bonafide, we're on board with him right now in his rental. And I'll tell you what, this car has been performing impressively all weekend at the moment. Charging down on Duminy. He'll see from Gennaro in his rearview mirror. And of course, Gennaro seems to be getting rather frustrated because he feels he's quicker out of the corners.
He's quicker out of the corners, but he doesn't have the drive down the straight that the Ford seems to have. And in the background, look at the bonnet of Graham Nathan as he sneaks past the other 2 GTIs.
Oh, look at this.
Oh, nice move there from Van Rooyen. He saw Famato make a mistake, and Nathan's seen the same thing and is now hunting Famato down.
Wow, look at the distance that he's made up at the moment. Graham Nathan, finally, maybe those gremlins in that Golf 5 have been sorted out and we can get back to the Graham Nathan show.
Yeah, reset the computer, get the limp mode sorted out, and he's back into contention in 5th place, looking for a way past his championship rival who's just taken the championship lead away from him. And speaking of the lead change, whoa, Bonafide wide out of the hairpin, looking to try and make the lead change with Duminy, but Duminy saw him coming and just moved that Ford across and blocked his way.
Well, it's a known fact, isn't it? I mean, when you put Sean Duminy in that car on any racetrack, it becomes the widest thing on 4 tyres.
Graham Nathan is on the outside of Famato here, and not enough room there. Oh, Famato's run wide! Famato has run wide, or has he been tapped? We can't see because we're on board with him. As they get out of the final corner, he'll come back onto the track, and he is in absolutely last place behind Nizam Essa and Levy. And now with a huge amount of work to do for Gary Famato.
Can you imagine the language? It would have sounded like Morse code. Beep, 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 beep.
Heading into turn 1 now. Graham Nathan is in 4th. The OPC William Hunt Astra is still there and looking good in 3rd, but not able to close down on the gap between 1st and 2nd. Michael Van Rooyen will have to do that now because he looks in his rearview mirror and doesn't see a Ford. He now sees the Indy Oil GTI of Graham Nathan.
All right, so pressure to bear, and Nathan is charging. He's on a charge, and he wants some results out of this, unfortunately starting from the pit lane. But I'll tell you what, he's motoring around here. That car looks like it's on song now.
Looks for a way around the outside, cuts the apex very late. And look at that, gets on the power early. Oh, that is awesome driving. Can he go around the outside in the sweep? If he does, that'll be the first time we've seen that today. Oh, a little tap between the 2 of them. Van Rooyen and Nathan come together. Both of them keep it on the track. How? We have no idea. Front-wheel drives in action there and drifting front-wheel drive style.
Yeah, a bit of tapping going on at the moment. Gennaro Bonafide, we're on board with him right now, chasing down Sean Duminy. You've got no chance. Duminy is really wide. Now, while he's being held up, that's going to bring in the rest of the field close, and that includes Graham Nathan.
Dude, did you see Gennaro's eyes as he looked in the rearview mirror and saw that it wasn't OPC anymore? It was the Indy Oil GTI that's on his tail. He's not quite close enough yet, but he's not too far off. I tell you, it's going to be a very, very tough race to the end. As Bonafide is pushing it to the limit. Look how hard he's trying to get past Germany. Germany just driving the socks off his ST, and at the moment, probably the best man on the track because no one can get past him.
You can't allow Graham Nathan to get the nose, the front, just on the inside. If you do that, he'll take you, and you've got no answer to come back from it. Duminy is just making this forward really wide. Gennaro Bonafide, and here comes Nathan. Watch out, everybody. This is going to be amazing stuff. We've got almost a lap to go.
Watch the drive here from Nathan. He goes inside. Gennaro goes outside, as he always has. He runs a little bit wide. Now it's side by side. GTI versus GTI. Who's going to have the drive? They're both Nathan's motorsport machines. Remember, Gennaro's in the rental this weekend. He goes side by side with Graham Nathan. Who's going to have what it takes on the brakes? This is going to be awesome. Will it be Nate? Yes, it will. No, it won't. Gennaro comes back at him right at the end. That is brilliant stuff.
You were right about the fours, that Sean Dumany's really got straight line speed. Look at this on board Gennaro Bonafide. He's got to be feeling so frustrated. He was just trying to get himself through Sean Dumany, and the next minute, he's behind Nathan.
No, Nathan might be able to sneak through, and I think that's what Gennaro's decided. He said, once Nathan got through, let me get onto the back of him and let him be the blocker man. Let him try and find a hole in the wall that is Sean Dumany. And right now, Dumany just keeps it on the inside. He blocks every single corner, and there's no way past right now. But Graham Nathan, we know, is a very wily fox.
Gennaro Bonafide, did you check those eyes out in the mirror again? He looked in the rearview mirror and said, well, who else is coming my way?
No one at the moment, Gennaro. So concentrate on the men in front of you. Go with Graham if you can. He goes around the outside. He's going to try and do the same thing. It's a slingshot maneuver he pulls here. He goes very wide, cuts the apex very late, gets on the drive early, and now we have a drag race. Will it be the ST Focus or the GTI that wins down to turn one? It's going to be Sean Dumany who takes the checkered flag. Awesome driving there from Sean Dumany. He wins out to take it from Graham Nathan. But what an awesome drive there from Nate to sneak up and get ahead and get from the back of the field to second place.
Outstanding stuff, and what a great Class T race.
A superb Class T race sees Sean Dumany take first place ahead of Graham Nathan, Gennaro Bonafide in third place. Ibrahim Levy, his best finish of the day so far, ahead of Michael van Rooyen.
Then Gary Vermato a little further down where he needed to be, and then Nizam Essa in the other GTI.
Didn't quite win the race, but what an achievement.
Yeah, all credit to Sean. He did a great job. He took the win. But I got to give it all to my team. Without the equipment, I just can't do it. And we did a really good job. The guys worked hard. A bit of pressure in between the first and the second heat because there was a bit of a module problem on the car in the first heat. But all credit to the team. Great drive there by Sean. He makes the Ford Focus the widest thing I've ever seen in my life. With a little bit of pushing and shoving and rubbing and racing, but it was superb stuff. Good job.
And you made that Ford so wide.
Thanks, Steve. It was a great race. Had both VWs first, Bonafide chasing me, and then, of course, the orange Foss Nathan. You know how the two of us love each other. Bit of touching, a bit of rubbing, but it was great. Yeah, it was a battle to keep him behind me, but I managed to. I think another 2 or 3 laps, and it would have been a far more difficult feat.
So coming into this round at Aldo Scribante, it was Graham Nathan who led out the championship. But as you can see, already in Class T, the lead in the championship has changed 2 times. Down in 5th place, though, it is still Sean Dumany pushing hard in his BP Castrol Ford Focus ST.
Looking for more points in today's round as well, and what a charge it's been for a great season for Michael van Rooyen, who now finds himself 4th in the championship on 94 points in the Williams Hunt Opel Astra OPC. We expect more from him. Of course, he's got a lot of heart, and he's a great driver.
Gennaro Bonafide, he's up to 3rd place now with 115 points in the Ferodo GTI, and the GTI 6 coming soon. Gennaro cannot wait to get behind the wheel of that.
In 2nd on the table at 128, and now losing because of the result of that last race. Graham Nathan will go back into the lead, but Gary is on 128 points.
In 2nd place, which means that Graham Nathan has gone to the lead. And as we said, after race 1, it was Gary Vermato. After race 2, it's Graham Nathan. And there's still 2 races to come. race 3, and remember with race 3, it is the fastest and second fastest laps that decide the grid, which means that it is Gary Formato on pole position, and alongside him, the OPC of Michael van Rooyen as they head down towards turn 1, and some more Class T action about to get underway.
Notice how the weather conditions have improved here. We were thinking that we were going to have horrendous conditions, and it would have affected the racing, but it's all good at the moment, and we're back to racing, and Gennaro Bonafide and the usual suspects are in the mix.
Still a bit of a storm out there, but it's the racing that's providing it, not the weather conditions. As they go through the engine S's for the first time, Levy's moved up ahead of Van Rooyen. A good drive there from Levy. How he got through there, just sneaking ahead of that OPC at the back. Watch out for Nathan. He's going to have to come right from the back again.
Hard to tell who the crowd were cheering from going through that section of the track, but my guess, it could have been Ephraim Levy. You know, they get massive support. Love the colors of his new car.
Yeah, awesome job there, and I'm sure that they're very happy with the performance too, because he's up to third place, closing in on the back end of Gennaro Bonafide. His stablemate there, the Azran GTI of Nizam Essa, has been outdone by Graham Nathan, and Nathan now has his sights set on Sean Duminy.
Yeah, nice to see that those boys have made the effort to come up here. Yes, it gets expensive, and of course it's a time of the year where they do some celebrations in their own right, but nice to see them here anyway.
Oh, and they're flying at the front end too. Here we go, down the main straightaway, completing another lap. Formato pulling a big gap over Gennaro Bonafide, who's having to go defensive all the time now. Levy's on his tail. Just behind comes the OPC. And I tell you, that Williams Hunt machine is flying here this weekend. And watch out for Michael van Rooyen. He would love to take a victory.
Getting into the S as well, one of my favorite parts of the racetrack. And of course, it's really interesting stuff. You really got to get good drive through those corners to carry on the pace. And I'll tell you what, jive, you better believe it. He's certainly jiving at the moment.
He's trying as hard as he can. The Ferroto GTI out in front of him, though. So it's GTI second and third. They cannot close down on Formato. And once again, Gennaro Bonafide is in the same position he was in race 2, behind a Ford. And you can see just from the look in his eyes as he gets into the rearview mirror, the frustration. He is just not able to run at the pace of those two Ford STs.
The man to watch as they go through the sweep as well will be Graham Nathan in the mix, and he is the current leader of the championship and the reigning champion in that souped-up Golf 5 GTI. Look at that, round the outside, he'll have a look at this. And of course, will that stop Duminy?
Not yet. He's going to try the slingshot like he did the last time and get alongside him as they go down. It's a drag race. GTI versus OPC. And it looks like the OPC might win this one out. Yeah, it goes flying past Levy. Levy just going to the right-hand side, and Michael van Rooyen driving around the outside into turn 1. Goes up to third place. Wants to catch Bonafide. Bonafide now looks in the rearview mirror, sees the Opel, decides, I've got to get a move on. I've got to get past Formato.
So, there we go with the OPC, and Van Rooyen will have to battle a little harder right now. Oh, look, Levy's got a problem, there's no doubt about that. Got a little bit wide. Is that slowing down? I think he is. I think he's going to have to pull off.
It's a big pity there for Ephraim Levy. He was going so well. Final lap and into the sweep now as they head up towards the final corner. It is Gary Formato going to be taking another victory. So the lead in the championship is going to change again. Can you believe this? Every single time we go racing, we leave that race with a checkered flag and a new championship leader. Gary Formato, good drive.
Do we call this the yo-yo factor?
Pretty much. Gennaro Bonafide will be happy with second place as he crosses the line. But he'll be ecstatic because he gets bumped up to first place as Gary Formato was found underweight and disqualified. Germany second, Nizam Essa on the podium. Nathan and Van Rooyen, your top 5.
So here we go. It's race number 4. 6 cars inverted. That was a really bad mistake that Team Ford made, wasn't it?
Big mistake there from the Ford boys. Hopefully they get it all sorted out as they head down towards turn 1. It is Graham Nathan with the whole shot. And Essa right on his tail, so he's got a GTI buffering him between the two Fords and his stablemate for today anyway, in the other Nathan's Motorsport machine, the Ferroto GTI of that man, Gennaro Bonafide.
Well, I'll tell you what, Essa's been driving long enough to know, and an experienced driver, and also a gentleman is going to know that he's not going to want to get in the way of these cars. He's quite adamant the fact that his car is not on the pace for the weekend. So, yeah, he'll keep it tidy, he'll keep it on the track, he'll do his very, very best, but I can't see much coming from it.
Well, we can see how well Sean Duminy was able to block in the first couple of races too, and if Essa can do the same thing, he might end up on the podium. That'll be an awesome drive there from the Azran man as they head into the sweep. Look at the two Fords sandwiching that Ferroto GTI. Where is the Opel? It is out the back. I'm not quite sure what happened with Michael van Rooyen, but he's not on pace like he has been in the first 3.
Yeah, more Morse code coming from underneath the helmet from Gary Formato. It's just not going his way, you know, but he is trying. Well, all over the back of Bonafide at the moment. Bonafide is chasing down the Opel as well, and Graham Nathan, look at the gap, he's starting to pull ahead at the moment.
There's the OPC, so it's just out the back there. Not such a good one there, but we'll see whether or not he's able to salvage anything out of this race into turn 1. Essa looking very good, and I'm saying a great drive
Surprising.
so far.
Yeah.
A fantastic drive from him so far, keeping Germany, Formato and Bonafide still behind him.
Well, one thing about these GTIs, I mean, Volkswagen, let's be honest, it's a really, really strong car, and they perform well.
Oh, a little mistake there, runs wide, Germany might sneak through. He gets through, Germany sneaks through, going through Hanger up towards West Bank now, and we've got a new man up into, well, it's second place, because it was Essa for a while. Now he's down to third, and Bonafide smells blood in the water, and it has an Azran taste to it.
Yeah, Nathan's got his game face on, there's no doubt about that, wants to cement the championship as well. He's tired of playing around and letting people come and overtake him all along, but he's got to defend that championship, doing the right thing at the moment.
Leading is what he needs to do, and that's exactly what he is doing. And more importantly, the third GTI on the road is doing a great job to keep Formato behind him. That's going to help Nathan out, and hopefully he can retake the championship. You're getting out of race number 4 today.
So, recapping here at Aldo Scribante in South Africa, round 5 of the Bridgestone Production Car Championship. And here it is, current leader in the championship, Graham Nathan, hasn't had it all his own way this weekend.
He's had a tough weekend, but he's managed to get some good points in the bag, and that's all important for the championship, because we go to East London, another Eastern Cape circuit in the very near future.
Oh, Formato on the inside.
There is Formato moving through, but Bonafide closes the door. They get into the engine S's. He had the inside line. Bonafide runs slightly wide. Formato tries to get good drive, can't get it through Hanger. Now they head up towards West Bank. It's a right-hander they're coming to. It'll be a slight lift, and then straight back onto the loud pedal, heading to the hairpin. Whoa, look at Bonafide get it sideways there. That's going to open the door. Will Barry Formato sneak through? Yes, he will.
Oh, he had that pinned all the way there, didn't tap off, just pinned it and got through. And I'll tell you what, I was very, very glad to see Bonafide stay on the racetrack there.
Bonafide has fallen back now. Formato's got past Essa pretty easily, and Essa now keeping Bonafide behind with a lap to go as they cross the line now. Nathan leads out. It's the two Fords, second and third, and there goes Gary Formato on his teammate. That's pretty much an open doors policy there. You can see he just left it wide open because he knows if Ford want to win this championship, he's got to help his teammate out, and that's exactly what Sean Duminy is doing.
Yeah, team player as well. But needless to say, the Fords have been really, really doing well this weekend. I'm actually quite impressed with the consistency.
They head now to the final stages. We're getting to the halfway mark of the last lap, and Gary Formato is looking up ahead saying, I cannot catch that GTI. Graham Nathan knows he's done everything right here. He had pole, he got away, he's opened up a big gap, and by the time they're going to cross the line, it's going to be so close between these guys in the championship. Remember, Michael van Rooyen's not in it. He's stuck in third gear, a couple of laps down. Formato's in second, but he's not close enough, because there goes Nate, turning right into the final corner, and the two Fords are not close enough to do any damage to him. He's going to take the victory, but it's going to be Formato in second and Duminy in third. How close is this Class T championship?
Well, it's brilliant. I mean, you can see it by the points. And another great outing for the PE crowd. So, drama continues. Gary Formato penalised and disqualified. So, Nathan wins the fourth. Sean Duminy, Gennaro Bonafide.
That was a sweet victory.
Absolutely, it was. Once again, all credit to my team. I don't know what's going on. We've got a little bit of a gremlin going on in the electronics of the old faithful G5. As you see, I raced the G5 this year, or this race. It just pumps out the power when all things are working sweetly, and there's just nothing to stop it. But when it's giving us a hard time, we're going to get a hard time.
Nathan stays at the top as he did when he came into this round. Gennaro Bonafide in second. Formato down to third after 2 disqualifications. And Michael van Rooyen is on the charge.
So let's have a look at the points manufacturers as they stand. And no doubt, Volkswagen leading the way on 655. Then Audi, BMW, Subaru, Ford, Nissan, and the Opel.
Hi, I'm Ibrahim Levy, racing the Jive Golf GTI. Join me the 3rd of September, East London. See you there.
You bet we will, and we're looking forward to it. Round number 6 in the championship. The Bridgestone production cars head off to East London on the 3rd of September.
For more information, log on to westbanksuperseries.co.za.
Well, that's a wrap of the Bridgestone production cars at Aldo Scribante, Port Elizabeth. Next up is the West Bank V8 supercars as well as the engine Volkswagen Cup. I'm Gugu. See you next time.